In a news story that has been really in the headlines the last couple of years in the world of entertainment, but we have not really touched on here on the show because it hasn't had any direct impact on any upcoming movie or anything like that, but has been pretty big, has been the whole Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively situation. Now, you guys might remember that a number of months ago, I think it was in the summer, Justin Baldoni's lawsuit got thrown out, but there was an asterisk to that being thrown out. It was thrown out, but they had the opportunity to rephrase their complaint and resubmit a new complaint. So it wasn't really over. Well, now, in the word of Vince Carter, it's over. Some of you won't get that reference. It's totally fine. But apparently now it's over. As Complex and others are now reporting, Justin Baldoni has lost his $400 million lawsuit against Blake Lively after missing a court deadline in which they just declined to resubmit. This is what the report says. Justin Baldoni's massive $400 million extortion and defamation lawsuit against Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds has officially been shut down after the It Ends With Us director missed a court-imposed deadline to amend his claims. In a new order signed on October 31st, U.S. District Judge Louis Lyman of the Southern District of New York ruled that Baldoni and his Wayfarer Studios co-plaintiffs let their opportunity to revive the case lapse, effectively ending their legal fight. Judge Lyman noted that the plaintiffs, quote-unquote, failed to respond to an October 17th order asking why a final judgment should not be entered, prompting the court to formally close the case. The dismissal comes after the court originally tossed Baldoni's complaint in June, finding, and this is the key part, that his defamation allegations lacked merit.
You get nothing. You lose.
So, in June, the court says, you have nothing here. There's no merit to this case. And they said, but you have the opportunity to rephrase it and submit it again. They just simply decided not to. So, it looks like this very loud, that Baldoni, again, and listen, I need to say, I was not in the room. I don't know anything for a fact. But it sounds like this very loud, very distracting, very TMZ-ish story that has been out there in the news is now over. Now, the one part that is not over is that, you know what hasn't been thrown out? Blake Lively's case against him. That's still ongoing. But that has nothing to do with this. I don't care. That's going to work out whatever way that works out. But his against her, this $400 million thing, is now officially dead and in the water. And you know what? The one thing that I hope comes out of this is that there are going to be beefs and disputes and problems that two people in entertainment are going to legitimately have with each other. It has always struck me as incredibly creepy and incredibly, I'll use an advanced word for you, icky feeling when parties decide to try to fight their fight in public. And they try to fight their fight in the court of public opinion. They try to fight their fight with tweets and social media posts and whatever. And to me, that is very Bush League and I don't like it when, even if it's legitimate things, you know what? You two people have gripe, fight it out with your lawyers, do it in court. Don't make it because you know what? You know who takes it and tries to make it public? The people who know they can't win in an actual court.
Right.
So they try to score points otherwise. And that thing is always, and I kind of hope my takeaway from this whole ugly situation is that moving forward, that other parties look at this situation and say, hey, if we have some beef with each other, let's conduct it with each other. Let's do it through our lawyers. Let's do it behind closed doors. Let's handle this thing the way it should be handled. anyway, that's kind of my takeaway from it. Anyway, Rob, you saw, it looks like this thing is now finally done. But what's your takeaway from it?
Well, I was involved. It was a very eye-opening experience with a large lawsuit during the Agent Cody Banks era with a partner. We all got the movie made. And it was shocking to me that after getting 2 Agent Cody Banks movies made, I would have a partner that went rogue and was all angry and started a very costly, very long and protracted lawsuit. It was stunning to me that this happened. And it was a complete, utter waste of time and money and years of our lives. So it doesn't surprise me that people do this. But my experience can only tell me that there's a lot of crazy ego involved. It's the business of Hollywood. That's why I always say you don't get what you deserve, you get what you negotiate. And in the case of this particular movie, it was a big hit. The movie was a big hit. Everybody could walk away and when you are the director and producer of this movie and the writer, I think Baldoni wrote this movie as well, adapted it. It's incumbent on you to set the tone. You're the person that needs to get up there and say, this is what I expect, this is what I want, this is what we need to have happen. And this is the kind of thing where, and I think it's incumbent upon him to set that tone. And it's not like Blake Lively. She was on a big hit show. She worked with the Broccoli's on the rhythm section. She made a great movie called Age of Adeline with Harrison Ford. She has done great work. And I think that this lawsuit, it leads...
Loved her in Savages, too.
Dude, which I just got in 4K.
Did you?
Oh, Shout Factory put it out.
That's an underappreciated
Came out last
film.
week.
I like
Shout
that movie.
Factory rules, and she is incredible in it.
Yeah.
She's amazing. I love her. And by the way, Age of Adeline, one of the great movies, one of the great romances. If you haven't seen it, you gotta see it. But anyway, that said, I'm a little biased, okay? But I think that this was a case, the fact that he started this case, it went on, and then just decided not to pursue it, that to me is a very telltale sign. And I would say this probably didn't have to happen. And it's a bummer that it did.
Well, hopefully the whole thing is over now.
Hope so.
I mean, again, the one thing that is not over is Blake Lively's thing against him was not thrown out, but I'm not going to be talking about that here because that has nothing to do.
No, but
with
also you didn't see her mouthing off in the press very much about this.
Nope, they stayed very, very quiet.
Yeah.
They never got in the media. They never tried to fight this out in the open. They did all their stuff behind the scenes.
And
all
that's
the stuff
also
with the
very
courts.
telling.
Yeah,
Very
which is also
telling.
very telling.
Like you just pointed out, people who don't have a case mouth off in public.
But again, to be clear, I was never in the room. I don't know what is
Sure.
fact. I'm not trying to purport anything as fact. I was never there. I don't know. That's part of the reasons why we never talked about it on the show.
Yeah.
At any rate, guys, question is for you. It looks like this long drawn out story is now finally over. I'm glad it is. What lessons, if any, do you think there are to take away from this? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comments section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.